Okay, I'm Tawan. This is Brooklyn. That's London. And that's Sahara. The reason why I wanted to be a part of Letters TV was to break the stigma between black fathers and kids and daughters more than anything, and just give my thoughts on being a black dad for daughters.
Okay, so Sahara is your teenage daughter. How old are you?
15.
15. So that's a good age. She's entering womanhood. And I just want to know, it's easy to know stuff about your child at this age. Do you know some of Sahara's favorites? So I have some questions. So I don't know what order they're in, but I'm just going to ask. So what is Sahara's favorite color?
Purple.
Let's see what you said.
It's purple.
Purple, okay. So what is her favorite food?
Red velvet cake.
Food, Dad, not dessert.
That's food, bro. Buffalo wing.
Okay, I put chicken wings.
Oh, that's good.
That's something.
What's up, everybody? My name's Otis. You may remember me from season 2 of Letters from My Mama. And I am joined with...
Anaya. What's up?
And this is my...
Daughter.
Daughter.
So, I asked Anaya some questions. Just to break the ice and see how well you know her. So, what is Anaya's favorite color?
So, when Naya was young, her favorite color was yellow. See, you know what? She changed her favorite color so many times. So it was yellow. Am I right? It was yellow,
yes.
Starting off. Okay. And then it progressed. And it's
Don't look at him.
it's black.
You got that correct?
Hey! See?
Show us at home so we know.
Oh!
She said black, okay.
Don't mind my
Swish.
atrocious handwriting.
Okay, what about favorite food?
So her favorite food... Oh, spaghetti. No.
What's your favorite food?
No. Hold on.
Hold up.
I'll go with spaghetti.
Okay.
It is sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What is her favorite movie? Did you pick of all time or right now?
Of all time, yeah.
Of all time.
I didn't know she had one.
Well, you're going to have to think what she watched.
You should know this one.
Three.
I ain't got no answer.
Alright.
It was Lion King, but
I was about to say,
you lying.
What is Anaya's favorite movie?
Leading up till now, Anaya had she had a plethora of favorite movies.
And last, what is her favorite musical artist?
It be changed.
No, I told you this.
So she got Rod Wave, then she got Tunechi, then she got...
Dad, favorite artist, like,
Period.
of all time, period. I told you
All
this.
time.
I told you this.
You know what it is?
There was a plethora. So, just to answer that question, just to narrow it down into one from the plethora of favorite movies.
I don't know. She be switching.
Dad,
Do you want to phone a friend?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
London
want
knows.
Let's see if she know.
I don't know his name. I forgot his name. What is it?
Oh, baby, no.
See, she can change it up. What you got?
I want to say, I don't. I'm glad
Pick
there's
one.
no time limit.
No, pick one.
So it is a time limit?
Yes.
You 3, 2, 1 of me. Okay.
What's your favorite
Yeah,
movie now?
I have a plethora, so I just pick one. Joker.
Oh.
Oh no,
It was good.
that's garbage. Not the movie, but that answer. There's so many other ones that you like.
Yes, and I picked Joker.
What was the other one before the Joker?
Deadpool.
We told you this.
Mensa, I think is his name.
No. We just talked about this the other day, Dad.
Alright, y'all get one more chance as a unit.
In the car.
London ain't got it. I ain't got it. It's a you problem.
Okay, so who's your favorite musical artist?
It's Drake. We were just talking about
Oh,
That's
that.
her name on
y'all.
TikTok.
But
Really?
how else did she say something about Drake?
That's her name on TikTok. I just tagged her in the video.
Like of all
So I
time.
don't know that.
Alright, girls, this might seem like a silly question, but a lot of kids do not know this. What is your dad's birthday?
December 3rd,
December 3rd.
1987.
Hey, bro, you got something? What's wrong with you?
Okay. Last, what is Anaya's favorite musical
You
artist?
should know this.
Oh, Jonathan Davis of Corn.
I just put corn.
Oh, see, I already know that. She used to tell me, Dad.
No. It's
Anaya, I have one question for you that might seem very simple and easy, but a lot of kids, you'll be surprised, do not know. When is your dad's birthday?
So April 4th of 19.
No, She got that right.
Okay.
No. Where my questions at?
Okay.
You need to answer some questions about me.
Alright, we'll do one. What is your dad's favorite color?
You see, between blue and green.
Is that correct?
You got to pick one.
Dad, come on now.
I couldn't say a plethora. You got to pick one.
Well, you have more than one favorite color, and it's between those two.
So which one?
Green.
And you was right with blue.
But I was close. Don't be doing that.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. This is for you, Anaya. Do you feel that you know your worth? And do you feel beautiful?
Nope.
Which one? No for both?
I feel what was the question again?
Do you feel like you know your worth?
Yes.
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 And Otis, my question for you is...
Hold on. Do you feel beautiful?
Oh, no.
She said no.
Oh, okay.
So my question for you is, how can you change that, her perspective,
Well,
so she can look in the mirror and knows the beauty that we see?
I tell Naya she's beautiful all the time. I try to make her feel as if she is remarkable, one of one. The problem as a parent and as a father is sometimes your kid's like, you're supposed to tell me that. You know, even when she looks nice and we go out, you know, just saying, oh, you look nice. Oh, that's so dope. Like, you know, you're beautiful. And, you know, from a man's perspective, it's sort of like you say it so much because you want them to get used to hearing it. However, when they go outside and you're not around them, you know, like sometimes they may not feel that. And this is the most common thing I used to tell her. Like, no matter how beautiful you are, even like a Halle Berry, even a Tyra Banks, the most beautiful woman according to standards, outwardly standards, you know, according to other people, still feel like they are not attractive. They still feel ugly. And that's what I say, like, it's two things when it comes to that we battle with as parents and as fathers of young women. And it's how our perception of our daughters and our daughters' perception on themselves. So I could tell her you're beautiful till I'm blue in the face, and she still may not feel it. And that's a huge problem.
So I have a question for you girls. Do you feel that you know your worth? And when you look in the mirror, do you feel beautiful?
I believe that I know my worth, because if you're reminded or you remind yourself, like, yeah, you're beautiful, or if you have someone else to tell you that, then it's just a self-esteem booster.
When I look in the mirror, I do know my worth because my parents, they always tell me things like that. And I do feel beautiful, but at times, there were times when I didn't feel like it. But my parents did help me regain that strength.
So, Tawan, how do you feel it's important that you instill this in them so that they're not listening to society's views of beauty and worth?
I think it's important because, I mean, they should hear it first from the house. So, I mean, they need to know the importance of, you know, just life in general. And, you know, knowing their worth so they don't settle for anything when they go out in the streets. Anything a boy tell them or whatever the case. So they'll have that foundation so they know, like, all right, my father said this, my father said that. So the little things can't just amuse them or sway them so easily.
And mentally, how is it for you to see your baby girl grow up? You saw her as a baby and now she's entering womanhood.
Yeah. It was rough. But I'm a dad, so I'm just saying it's a beautiful experience, right? But it's still all in. My fellas, post this in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, whatever. You always, at a certain point, you're like, let me get my gun. And it gets scary. It's still beautiful, but the process becomes scary because we're protectors. At the end of the day, we're hunter-gatherers, we're soldiers, so we just want to protect our young women, our blossoming young women, from all hurt, harm, and danger. And we understand that, you know, like in this process of them growing up, they go through the awkward process. They go through that process where they're still trying to find themselves. They go through that process where they don't feel or they don't know their power. They don't know or understand what it means to be black and beautiful. And you see in them growing up, you see them fighting all of these dualities. And you know that eventually they'll come into that space. But while they are working on it, it's like the growth process and seeing, okay, she overcame this, now she's fighting this. All right, she overcame this, now she's fighting this. And it was a beautiful process, seeing her grow. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. But understand, it's from a man's perspective, it is a scary process.
So what's your favorite thing about being a girl dad? And mentally, how does it feel watching the progression and watching them grow up?
Favorite thing, honestly, is they teach me, which I'm still working on, is the softer side, because I don't really have a soft side. So I have to sometimes, like, you know, understanding, which is difficult, but you know. And watching them progress is hard, because you still, like, for my oldest, I still look at her like, you know, a kid, because that's how, you know, I kind of still see her as that baby. So it's hard to watch her grow up, but it's still trying to understand, like, all right, she is growing. I mean, she is becoming a young woman, you know, so it's difficult.
So Anaya, one of the biggest purposes of Letters from My Mama is to bridge the gap between generations and start those hard conversations with our parents and vice versa. So is there anything that you always wanted to tell your dad that you felt like you couldn't say?
No. We usually talk to each other about certain things. Like, we communicate well. So we usually get those things out of the way. And I'm, like, very comfortable talking to him because he usually understands my struggles as a female, a black female, and as an activist, you know, Black Lives Matter, period. But like, yeah, I don't keep anything from him. So.
It's my young revolutionary here. She fights for everything.
Period. Yeah. And I put a racist in their place. That's on period.
So, have you had what some will consider the hardest convo with your parents, and that is about sex? Do you feel like you know everything there is to know?
Yes, there is some missing splotches about that topic, but I feel like I've got a grasp on it.
Do you feel comfortable going to your parents for the missing pieces and not going to your peers?
Yes.
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 Sahara, it's a stigma that a lot of black fathers are not involved in their children's lives. So how important is it for you to know that that dynamic does not exist for you?
Very important, because it's not like a lot of other like young girls or just girls in general have like that father figure, because you'll always hear about like the moms and what they do, but you never hear like, oh, my dad took me here or my dad gave me this. You don't hear a lot about that, and I just feel like it's not something that should be based on, like people base it on, that it's normalized that you don't have a father in your household, but I just feel like it should be unnormalized, because you should always have your two parents.
Right. So the premise of Letters TV is to bridge the gap between generations and start hard conversations that you feel like you cannot have with your parent and vice versa. So is it anything that you feel like you were never comfortable enough to tell your father? And that's for all of you.
Just certain things like that you wouldn't really want to tell your father, like about your menstrual cycle, or just certain things that you just don't feel comfortable with.
Right.
Or about a boy, like just certain things. It's not. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Is there anything he can do to make you more comfortable in coming to him about anything?
In that sense, it's just like you just have to build up on it, but I just don't feel like it's something that'll just change overnight. Like there's still gonna be times like where you feel that you can't tell him certain things. Yeah. London?
There's times where you can't tell him everything, but you'll try your best to. I mean, whatever you tell him is whatever helps you learn.
And Tuan, do you feel like it's easy to have that communication with the girls?
No.
And why?
Because you're going to hear some stuff that you don't want to hear. Stuff about a boy. I'm past the menstrual cycle thing, that's easy. But, you know, stuff about a boy and all that, you really don't want to hear that as a girl dad about a boy. So I try to, you know, keep an open door. So when I get them individually, have conversations or whatever the case may be. Try to dig in their brain, see what's going on. But, I mean, I try to make them feel like it's okay, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still going to be on their comfort, so.
Right. But do you understand the importance of starting those conversations? For example, birds and the bees, stuff like that. Because we don't want them to hear it from their peers.
Yeah, you got to start that early, like elementary. Because they move a little quick. But yeah, you definitely have to, especially for me, like I said, I was a teen dad. So those things I kind of want to make sure it doesn't start a cycle. You know what I mean? The cycle stop at me. So I have those conversations and understanding the importance of it, and you know, the importance of your body as a young lady. So they know that.
Taking everything that you have learned throughout your fatherhood journey and just being a girl dad, what advice would you give your daughter about the future?
Never fear. There are so many times where your biggest enemy will be the person that you look in the mirror at every day. There are so many hang-ups, so many times where you're told, no, don't do that by other people. If your heart, follow your heart. If your heart tells you to move forward, if you know it'll be a hard task, but possible, even if it feels impossible, still go for it if that's what you want to do. Your biggest enemy in this life is yourself. Never fear anything. Always move forward. And if it doesn't work out, it's not a loss, just a lesson. You always learn that. Anything in life. One of the things that Kendrick Lamar said that I loved, he said, I don't fear losses anymore. What did he say? I don't fear losses no more. Basically because there's a lesson in all of it. You will fall. You will fall flat on your face. That's just a part of life. And it's a part of being a teenager. It's a part of being an adult. But never fear to pick yourself back up and keep going. One thing, I love talking to older people. And shout out to Mr. Marv at Cool J's. Plug. So, Mr. Marv, he told me one interesting thing about adulthood. And he said once you reach 18, 19, 20, he was like, you're an adult, but you're not grown. And he made it seem like 18, 19, 20, you're now in your infancy stage of being an adult. 18 is like 1, 19 is like 2, 20 is like 3. And he said you will fall, just like a baby does. Pick yourself up and keep walking. Because eventually you'll learn how to walk and you'll learn how to run. And that's the purpose of us being here as your parents, or me being here as your parent. That's the purpose of you having a village of people who care about you and love you.
Period. Okay. So I said there's no book to this. What are some ways that you wing this parenting thing that have actually surprised yourself?
I'm gonna go with the flow type of dude. So God be taking over for real. I mean, they ask something or I say something, and it be like, it just flow natural. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I don't know where it come from, but it happens. I mean, but I also try to speak from my personal experiences or my, something that I might have witnessed or it could have been me on the other end of it. So I try to give them that. So, and also with my father and my mom, they might not necessarily did or didn't do. I try to make sure I don't repeat the bad cycles, but as well as still instill some of the good things I was taught as well.
Right.
So a little bit of old with the new.
Oh, for the girls, have you ever dealt with bullying in school?
In general, or like, not really. No, maybe like when I was younger, but it wouldn't be like a repeating, so it wouldn't be labeled as bullying.
I maybe when I was in like elementary school. I was like in the 4th grade. I had some bullying and I used to wear my hair different ways and they used to laugh at me about it and I didn't really like it. But they kind of stopped once I started like growing my hair out and when I started getting braids. It kind of stopped looking at me. So I feel like, yeah, I did.
Did you feel comfortable to tell someone about it?
I did. I told my mom and my dad. I told them that I didn't want my locks anymore. I told them that I wanted them out. And they asked me why. And I just told them that I didn't like how I looked with my hair like that.
So mentally, how has it been during the pandemic for you girls? And like virtual school, nothing's really open. How has that been?
Chaotic. Because it's just like you have to do everything at home. And it's just like, yeah, you might want to be home, like, in the sense, but you, in your head, you want to be at school, but not really at school, but at school.
Right.
And going out places, just like, you can't really go anywhere because some things have restrictions. Sometimes your parents won't let you because, of the restrictions. But then, again, there's also some times where your parents do let you go out with your friends, but you still have to maintain social distancing. Yeah.
Right.
It has been, I would say, chaotic too. It's like in school, virtually it's hard to get your grades up, but in like physically when you go to school, it's really easy because you're there. And I personally do better in physical school, but virtually it helps sometimes.
So my last question, it's a huge stigma that Black fathers are not active in their children's lives. And being a woman, we know how important it is to have a father in our lives growing up. So can you both speak to that? What do you appreciate about your dad being in your life? And then a final takeaway, Otis, that you want to speak to as far as the stigmas of Black father.
So yeah, there's a lot of stereotypes about Black fathers not being there for their children, their daughters, sons, but it's not completely true. It's like that little percentage. But whenever they usually take care of us, like a lot. I like how my dad taught me things, taught me how to take care of my struggles, build up from it, you know, become mature as a young female, young Black female. You know. Like he taught me a lot of things. We've been through some things, but he taught me how to get back up from my mistakes and how to care for my future so I can have a successful future. And I'm working on that now. Period, getting that money. You know, get that money. But yeah, I love him. Teaches me everything that I need to know or want to know about being a female. He helps me through things. So yeah, that's basically it.
I don't even know where to start this. You know, it's interesting because you see statistics show that there are more fathers stepping up in their children's lives. And now there are so many communities, Facebook, and even like organizations for fathers. And it's so interesting just to see how the media paints the narrative that fathers, especially African American fathers, are not in their children's lives. Even statistically, not even statistically, but just painting the narrative that we are absent. And, you know, we deal with, me as a dad, I've dealt with systematic oppression from custody, things like that. Like, we have to take extra steps in order to fight to be in our children's lives. And there's a system, and you may not agree with me, but I will say this, there is a system that really puts us in that category or tries to force you in the category. And some men have to fight, some men don't have to fight. But it's sort of like a thing where, based on what the media projects, like, you have to fight sometimes extra hard just to be in your child's life. And, you know, it's a daily fight, and you face so much criticism and other things, especially like on Mother's Day, on Father's Day, the social media posts about men from, you know, angry women. Like, they're sometimes like patted on the back in a way, and you really don't know the full story of them forcing a man out of his child's life sometimes. We don't know half of what a lot of men go through in order to fight to be in their child's life. I know I had to fight, and it was a rough fight. I remember going to certain offices and being told, although you have all of your paperwork, we're still not going to help you. That has happened to me, and I had to call a lawyer to fight just to be treated equally as an African American male. So it's rough, but you know that's pretty much it. I ain't gonna talk too much. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you guys. That was perfect. Okay, so I have one more question for you girls and then for you. So I'm about to interview a bunch of 15 and 16-year-old boys. Tell me a good question to ask them that you would like to know about their perspective.
Perspective on what?
Anything. Any question.
I don't even.
I kind of had a question because, like, sometimes since I have 2 sisters and I only have 1 brother, sometimes I wonder what goes through his head because he's always so quiet and he never speaks about anything. So that's one question I would ask.
That's a pattern with boys I agree with. So why are y'all always so quiet and internalized? I like that. Okay, thanks, girls. I can't.
Come on now.
I'm just saying.
It's manly, Dad.
It is.
Very manly.
My beard can be shiny, not my lips.
It can be both.
Okay.
So introduce yourself. Then we're going to do a little icebreaker and then I'll have a couple of questions. Okay?
All right.
Go.
It's like, no, hey everybody. My name is Otis.
I'm Anaya.
Really? That's how you're going to introduce yourself. Start over.
How do you like?
So you could just say your name and you could say you remember me from season 2. I'm back with my daughter. Something like that. A little more engaging.
Okay.
You're in radio. You do this.
You need energy. I just. Energy. Oh Lord, this one over here. See, you know what? When it's just me, I got two beating me up.
Because you always acted like a fool. We love you though.
Crack it up.
It's okay. You will not be playing that song
It's
anymore.
just them God ain't got his pamphlet on.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh gosh.
These are bloopers.
And I'm rolling too. 'Cause y'all are funny. Okay.
All right, so
go ahead,
ready?
Introduce yourself.
All right. It's like no.
Okay.
It's like yeah.
Not with the-
Don't look at me like that.